Welcome to Learning Adda. Fuel your ambition. In a quiet village nestled between the hills, there lived a young woman named Lushi. From a young age, Lushi was different. While many of her friends dreamed of simple lives, she always wanted more. She wasn't interested in staying in the village her whole life. She dreamed of becoming a successful entrepreneur in the city, but she had no money, no experience, and no one to guide her. People in the village often told her, Lushi, you should focus on what's possible, not on dreams. But Lushi was stubborn. She believed in her dreams, no matter how big they seemed. Every morning, she helped her parents in their small bakery, baking bread and cakes. The work was tiring, and the hours were long, but Lushi did it with a smile. She knew deep inside that this was just a step toward something greater. One day, a well-dressed traveler visited the bakery. He was impressed by the quality of the bread and asked, "Who runs this place?" Lushi proudly replied, "It's my family's bakery, but one day, I want to open a big business of my own." The traveler looked at her, surprised by her ambition. "What kind of business?" he asked. Lushi hesitated for a moment but then said, "I want to sell food, not just here, but across the country. I want people everywhere to taste the fresh bread we make." The traveler smiled. "That's a big dream," he said. "But do you know what it takes to get there?" Lushi shook her head. "I'm not sure yet, but I'm willing to learn." The traveler paused and said, "Ambition is like a fire. It can burn out if you don't keep adding fuel to it. The key is to never let your fire die, no matter how tough things get. Keep fueling it with knowledge, hard work, and determination." That night, Lushi couldn't sleep. The traveler's words stayed in her mind. She realized that she needed to start taking action. The next morning, she began reading every book she could find about business. After finishing her work at the bakery, she would stay up late into the night, learning about marketing, finance, and customer service. She made plans, wrote down ideas, and saved every penny she could. A year passed, and nothing much had changed. Lushi was still working at the bakery, and her dreams seemed as far away as ever. But Lushi didn't give up. Every time she felt tired or discouraged, she reminded herself of the traveler's words. Her ambition was her fire, and she had to keep adding fuel to it. One day, Lushi heard about a business competition in the nearest city. The winner would get a small loan to start their own business. Excited but nervous, she decided to participate. She took her family's best bread recipes and made a plan for expanding the bakery. When the day of the competition arrived, she stood in front of a panel of judges, her heart racing. She spoke passionately about her dream of sharing her village's bread with the world. The judges were impressed, not just by her plan, but by her determination. A week later, Lushi received the call that changed her life. She had won the competition. With the loan, Lushi rented a small shop in the city. The first few months were difficult. Some days, she hardly sold anything, and she had to cut back on her personal expenses just to keep the shop running. But Lushi didn't let the setbacks stop her. She worked harder, learned from her mistakes, and slowly, her business began to grow. Within a few years, Lushi's bakery became one of the most popular in the city. People came from all over to buy her fresh bread. Her dream of expanding across the country was no longer just a dream, it was becoming a reality. Back in the village, the people who once doubted her now admired her. Lushi had proved that ambition, when fueled by hard work, could make even the biggest dreams come true. And she didn't stop there. Lushi continued to fuel her ambition by setting new goals and striving for even greater success. As she looked out at her thriving business one evening, Lushi smiled. She knew that the journey wasn't over. I'll never stop fueling my ambition, she whispered to herself. There's always more to achieve. Thank you for watching.